piece, which you saw at some point last year. And basically I sat down and started from one end of stitching what remained. There was a bit of cat needing doing, this whole corner. There was a bit here, and then most of this part. But I basically just sat down and then started from one corner and slowly worked my way. So, hooray! I started this, I don't remember exactly when, but sometime between 85 and 89. That's when this got started. So, yeah. It feels pretty good. It has been pressed, but then I put some ironing on top of it, and it could do with another flattening. I am not going to do anything more to it right now, because there is a companion piece. It is an old Eva Rosenstein Clara Weber. Sorry. Okay, I wasn't as well prepared as you could have hoped. And this is the companion piece. And I have that kit as well. And I will be doing it. I just don't know if I am ready quite yet. And because they are companion pieces, of course, they do not have to be on the wall at the same time or in the same place. They do not necessarily have to be in the same sort of frame or treated in the same sort of way. But just in case I actually want to get them in identical frames or done up, maybe made into a wall hanging in the same way, I'm going to let that lie, get I'm not quite sure if they're Persians. Nah, they're not Persians, they're not fluffy enough, but get those done, and then when that piece is done, then I'll decide how I want to finish them. So, wow, I beat a whip. I managed to finish an old UFO or whatever, which meant I was back at not having any current stitching and still needed distracting. So I went rummaging through my piles, and I have loads of whips, but I wasn't really quite up to tackling something large. And then I found this a small kit, old kit. It is copyright 1994. The fabric was not included in the pack, or if it was, then it's vanished since. But that was not a problem, because I have loads of scraps. And then I found some Dralon, I have no idea if this is still something which is available or if it might be called by some other name in English. And Dralon is, as far as I know, 100% synthetic. And it's a bit icky, to tell the truth. And this is not the standard color. The standard color is something pale yellow, sort of linen-y color, but more yellow. But I found this piece of beigey color, and I thought this would be perfect. And I actually have room for another, because this is going to be, I want to, well, first of all, this is the finished thing, almost finished. I've just realized there are loose ends that I haven't dealt with. I did make some changes. I wasn't happy with the font that they have there, so I ended up trying to make my own. And while I was making this, I got a brilliant idea. So I will probably, I'm happy I put it on one side because there's room enough for another. I do have more scraps of this because I am going to be making more, but I will be keeping this bit, and I will also be keeping this bit, and then I will go looking. I've already found some. We have, in my own library, in my mum's library, we have loads of pattern books and magazines and stuff. And I will be making other seed packets, where I'll, instead of having the tomato, I'll have whatever random vegetable, maybe even some flowers. And then, of course, I'll write something else there, depending on what I have here. But I'll make them sort of into a series. And the only thing I'm currently sort of debating, that is whether I will keep these bits red or whether I will change the color to fit whatever. I mean, if I have some carrots here, I would use one of the oranges to do the background bit here, and with an eggplant I'd do one of the sort of purpley colors, or if I'm going to do them all with the red and then it's just this bit. I can think up various pros and cons of either option. I've had other people come with their suggestions and their takes on it. But anyway, this is going to be finished off by a piece of patchwork fabric, in this case with tomatoes, and what's it called? Bias band. It's sort of fabric band that's folded, which you can use for hemming and stuff like that, and all as close as possible. And I might then somehow put them on a ribbon or a thread so they can hang down, or I might decide to just have some sort of bowl and then have embroidered seed packets in it. Still not quite certain about that, but yeah. So, a start and a finish. And then I was twiddling my thumbs. If you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen this whole process, because I got back on Instagram and started posting pictures, and I'm actually a bit impressed by the fact that I have been able to start or pick up a project and just work on that, not having to work on some other project in between, but just from start to finish. But anyway, seed packet was done. And I had started watching Flosstube videos again. I've had to have a break from those because I just couldn't. I was not in a place where I could watch and enjoy and not have this need to go out and buy lots of stuff or whatever. But I started shortly after the Dutch stitching retreat was held. I was a bit sad about not having known about it because I would have liked to go, but on the other hand it was probably just as well because I wouldn't have been able to cope with it. But I was also getting the Stitch Mania videos and the plans, and I've been having my own crazy sort of Stitch Mania, because the fact that I can just sit down and work on a piece and finish it and then start on the next and work on it and finish it is not standard behavior.